Hi everyone, Derek Hooper here. I'm out on the golf course here at Lake of Isles and I've missed the green a little to the right and I'm left with a pitch shot. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about, well, how do I play this shot? How can I get the ball to land on the green softly and trickle down to the hole? So the first thing you want to remember is if I'm hitting a pitch shot, my goal is to make the ball fly high in the air, and then when it lands on the green, I want it to roll a very short distance, and that's the definition of a pitch. So if I'm looking for maximum elevation and minimum roll, I need to play a pitch shot with my most lofted club. So just because it's called a pitch shot doesn't mean you have to pitch with your pitching wedge. You can pitch with your lob wedge, sand wedge, pitching wedge, gap wedge, even pitch with a 9-iron, depending on the type of flight and roll that you want to get out of the shot. In this situation here where I've got a slightly elevated green, not a lot of green to work with, and it's a little downhill to the flag, I want to make sure that I'm playing with my most lofted club, so I've got my 58-degree sand wedge with me today. Now the way I'm going to play this shot is I'm going to set up with my feet fairly close together. Ball position is going to be middle of the stance and I've got the club face nice and square. My hands are going to be down the grip a little bit. I've got a little more weight on my left side rather than my right, so about 55 and 45 on the right. From there, when I take the club back, I want to let the arms take it back. I'm going to keep the weight on my left side. And once I get to here, and this is the key part, I want to let the butt end of the club fall towards the ground so that the handle leads, and I'm going to make sure I get back to that the impact position which matches my setup. I see a lot of players when they play this shot try to help the ball up in the air, and typically we see too much of this motion where they're trying to scoop the golf ball, and then the weight's too much over on their right side. And it tends to result in one of two shots. Those players will either hit the ground first, and they won't hit the ball very far at all, or if they miss the ground, now the ball's traveling up through the ball, the leading edge hits the ball and the ball goes shooting through the green across to the other side. The key to hitting this shot is really making sure that weight stays left and letting your arms fall and the club head follow. If you let that fall, gravity dictates that the club will reach the ground. If the club's not reaching the ground, then you're interfering with it, and you've got to go back and soften this up a little bit more and let gravity help you hit this shot instead of you trying to fight it by using your hands. So just to summarize for you, feet close together, ball middle, weight a little more on my left side, weight stays left as I take the club back, my arms are going to fall, club head's going to follow, club's going to brush the turf. That's going to allow the bounce of the club, which is the trail edge of the club, to hit the ground, so the club will tend to skid across the turf rather than dig. If I've got too much shaft lean with this, what's going to happen is the leading edge is going to dig into the turf and I'm going to stub it. So I want to make sure that I let that fall, get back to impact with minimal shaft lean, so I'm using the bounce well after the club hits the ball in the air. I'm going to see if we can show you how that shot's supposed to look. And I wouldn't be too unhappy with that shot from this location. So if you can get away and work on that, you'll get nice shallow divots like you just saw me hit that golf ball. Ball goes in nice and high, lands on the green softly, rolls out a very short distance, and you're going to be able to get a few more up and downs when you're missing those greens.